Debbie and I here for our Friday roundup. And
just before you start, the government is not taking my jewelry or my shoes. Okay, no can do.
No civil forfeiture.
Oh no! No way.
Well, I know.
Just saying. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about this business in Georgia where a woman. And I've already become a super fan of her based upon just this report. Her name is Misha Maynor. She's a Georgia State House representative, so essentially a congresswoman, but at the state level. And she was just elected in 2021. Mm-hmm. And she's decided to quit the Democratic Party. But what I love is the boldness with which she gives her explanation. So I'm just going to read a few things and have Debbie kind of weigh in on this. She goes, "When I decided to stand up on behalf of disadvantaged children in support of school choice, my Democrat colleagues didn't stand by me. They crucified me when I decided to stand up in support of safe communities and refused to support efforts to defund the police. They didn't back me. They abandoned me." And then she goes, this is the crusher. "For far too long, the Democrat Party has gotten away with using and abusing the Black community. For decades, the Democrats have received the support of more than 90% of the Black community, and what do we have to show for it? I represent a solidly blue district in the city of Atlanta. This isn't a political decision for me, it's a moral one." And she goes on to say that she loves being a Republican. It is, quote, "humbling to be embraced for the first time in a long time by individuals who don't find fault in a Black woman having a mind of her own and willing to buck the party line."
Well, this is the Republican Party. This is the party that fought against slavery. It's the same party. It baffles me how people could have just been so duped by this party. By the Democratic Party.
Well, it's the left's ability to control the narrative. I mean, think of the intellectual hijacking in claiming that the parties, like cops and robbers, switch sides, and so here she goes. A couple more lines. "The most dangerous thing to the Democrat Party is a Black person with a mind of their own." And she goes on to say that she is not only joining the Republican Party, she's going to be active in helping to grow the Republican Party.
Awesome.
Helping us to focus not just on preaching to the choir, but growing the congregation.
That gives me chills.
This is what we need.
Absolutely. And I told you that I was going to also bring up Mayra Flores from the Rio Grande Valley, who also kind of like went against the grain down there and was trying to say, listen, guys, what has the Democrat Party brought to you, the poor here in the Valley? Nothing. Not only have they brought nothing, but they've also duped you into believing that the party is about the poor, is about Hispanics, is about minorities, when in fact it is for them to keep being the same, right? And I just love it when I hear minorities take a stand against.
I mean, this is almost like a case of you could call them a runaway. It's like someone who's like run away from the plantation, like in the old days. But it's not easy to break free like this. And as you can see, they put a lot of pressure on her.
Again, and she's very right about saying 90% of Blacks back a party that wants to keep them in a plantation, essentially, and wants to keep them from thinking for themselves. And I just love it that she knows this and wants to educate other Blacks about this very issue.
Well, here you see how Democrat coercion might have backfired, because the Democrats, they try to keep everybody in line and they pull out the whip if you're showing signs of deviation. Now that can work because, of course, for weak and timid people, they're like, okay, I don't want to be whipped. I want to stay in line. I'll behave myself. I won't talk about school choice again. But then you have people who are strong-willed who basically go, listen, not only do I object to your policy, not only do I disagree with you on the merits, but then your treatment of me convinces me I no longer belong in this party, and so I want to give you a big sayonara. If aches and pains are your problem, Relief Factor is your solution. Debbie and I started taking Relief Factor a couple of years ago. The difference we've seen in our joints, nothing short of amazing. Aches and pains are totally gone thanks to this 100% drug-free solution called Relief Factor. Now, how does it work? Relief Factor supports your body's fight against inflammation. That's the source of aches and pains. The vast majority of people who try Relief Factor become regular customers and order more because it works for them. Debbie's a true believer. She can now do exercises that for a long time she wasn't able to do. Relief Factor has been a huge game changer for her, her aunt, other members of our family, Mike here in the studio, and for many other people. You too can benefit. Try it for yourself. Order the 3-week quick start for the discounted price of just $19.95. Go to relieffactor.com or call 800-4-RELIEF to find out more about the offer. Once again, the number 800-4-RELIEF or go to relieffactor.com. Feel the difference.